Good. I was going to say good morning, but good, whatever time it is you're watching this. Another one. I left this one late again. I was supposed to do it this morning, couldn't, but alas, we're here. So I've just finished recording the podcast with the guys, and I'm jumping on the last part of the project, well, the last project before the certification projects. So, praise God. Let's get started. In this one, we're building a date formatter, uh, which is cool, and we're going to learn about the date object. So it's quite comprehensive. We've learned about sort of the basic JavaScript, data types, and stuff like that. We've learned about form validation. We've learned about string and array methods, which is cool. And now we're going to the date object. So let's get started. Enough chitter chatter. Let's go. And I hope this is coming through well. So this is what we're building, and we can change it as we please. Alright, so fairly simple. Before it gets really hard. Alright, cool. So they've given us all the HTML and CSS, which is nice. Cool. They've given us the ID here, but I want to go and see it. Now, normally ID is like an inspect, which can I? And will it have the same? It won't have the same. No, it hasn't got the same name. Um, but yeah, cool. That's by the by. I just wanted to test that out. If I was doing this with like a website and I don't have access to the HTML immediately, I'd do that. I'd inspect and I'd go and grab the ID, which will be their natural thing. But it's cool. We can see it here. Albeit I have to sort of scroll through and actually look through, which is not the smart thing. But here's the ID for that P element. So cool. So we're going to assign to const, and I'm going to do my classic copy and paste in order to get it. Oh, snap. Full disclosure, I am talking to a friend online, so I will be a little bit sideways every now and then. I'm trying to help them out with something as well. Okay, you guys could hear that. I didn't want you to hear that. Apologies for that. So yeah, we are assigning. Uh, get rid of the HTML. I don't need it. Again, I can't remember if I need to put this in. I think I do need to put this in quotation marks. I think I do because we know it's an ID, so I don't need to do it. But yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah. So there you go. So by this, we're grabbing this element and all the associated sort of document object characteristics that it will have, and we can do stuff with it. When we interact with the current date paragraph. Cool. Okay. So another one. DJ Khaled out here. Yeah. Shout out Drea. Shout out Drea. Drea's jumped on the stream. Shout out to you, sis. Cool. So yeah, we are grabbing this element. Drea just literally gave me energy, like a boost of adrenaline, to come on here, even though it's late and I'm tired and I'm feeling a little bit ill. So shout out to Drea. Cool. Yeah. So the option select element we know is. Again, I'm going to start copying these things because I don't want to make unnecessary mistakes. We know now that we do, even if we are using get element by ID, you need to provide the ID as a string. Alright, so now I'm going to look at constructors. Okay, so constructors create objects. It's like a regular function, but starts with a capital letter and is initialized with a new. We saw this when we were dealing with the audio. So new audio is another constructor, and it gives us an object, an audio object. Now here we're dealing with a date object, as the name would suggest. So cool. That's interesting. So that's what we did. That's what we did with the music player. And okay, so it's cool. It's cool. We didn't know it at the time, but we were using it. And actually, I want to take a little side note to say this with coding. There needs to be a willingness. I've said this before. There needs to be a willingness to sort of just accept things without fully understanding them. So when we dealt with new audio in the last project, I didn't realize this is what I was doing. I didn't realize that audio was a constructor that created an audio object. But the audio object has various like elements already, like a template. A template is a good idea for it. And when you create a new this and assign it to an element, so in that one I think we were assigning it to audio, we created an audio variable and we assigned it a new audio object. We give that all these properties of this audio thing, and we're creating and we're using that template to create audio with all of this template sort of structure in place. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're going to create a variable called date, and we're going to make it a new date object. And now date has all of the properties of the date object. And that could have been anything. That could be current dates. That could be anything. I guess the naming convention is such that you want to name it something that makes sense to the kind of object that it is. Because 2 years later when I come down, I might not necessarily know that it's a date object, but if I see date, it will likely sort of trigger, oh, this could be a date object. It makes sense. That's called date. So that's cool. A date object has a number of different methods that allow you to get the date and time in different formats. excuse me. One of those is the .get date method, which returns a number between 1 and 3. That was the day of the month for that date. Okay. Cool. So, and again, I guess we assign these things to variables so we can do different things with them. So we've got a new date object, and we could then take from that date object and grab the day and apply that to perseverance. I think that's the thing that we are not getting. You don't get told with coding. It's just about the perseverance, really. And if you persevere, you will get there. But yeah, so we're using this method to get another day object. And I'm sure that day object has its own lot of methods that we can use. So, cool. It's worth remembering that this returns a number. Okay. Now I can't remember if we had to do the function first and then the number for this to pass. But because this is 0 based, as they've said, so it starts from 0. 0 is January. So in as much as it's returning a number, if we got the first month, it would be 0. And so for us to like reflect what we see in day to day, we need to add 1. So that first month is 0 plus 1, 1, etc. Now, I remember that we had to do this in a specific way, where if we didn't add, so in as much as addition is commutative and it doesn't matter, A plus B is always equal to B plus A, there's a specific way we had to do it. I'm not sure if this will pass. Okay, so out of interest, I don't want to waste time, but if I had done this 1 plus date dot get month, it might not have passed. I've had that before, so cool. Get full year. There you go. So we're doing this with a year now. I really should be putting my semicolons behind everything. Getting the good habits. Cool. Hours. So we can build like a date time type thing. So it sounds like this though. I know. I don't know if this would be an improvement, but something like this where, I mean, for the past 4 lines, I guess the repetition helps. So yeah, I don't say that. The repetition helps. But we've done this day, month, year, right? Hours, okay, makes sense. We're doing the same thing. We could save a step, where it goes, all right, do the same thing to get hours and assign it to a variable called hours, minutes. If the method follows the same convention, then I could do one step and do like 4 of these. Like in this step, I could do minutes and seconds at once, and save a step. But the repetition is important. So, yeah. Repetition being important to get you in the habit of, get you prepared to do this and not to, do that make silly mistakes because you're repeating the same process over and over. Okay. Temperate literals being our backticks. Backticks allows us to um, insert parameters that then relate to something else. So in order to do this, we would use that and day. So again, if you're going to make this follow the same pattern, then just say do this and then month, year, hours, minutes. And I can do it once. Unless some dash, because it's going to be the same thing. Because I know it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to template this now. So let's hope that I'm confident enough to be right. Or that I am right, being so confident. Oh, God, didn't mean to do that. Sorry for the yawn into the microphone. That's disgusting. There you go. 8th of February 2024. So remember, for our document object, we can use text content to do something with it. It's worth, isn't it? It's not worth pointing out presently, actually. Copy this. Hello. So we know that this select is the data option select. So we added an event listener to it to say if the date in there should change, we need to do something. Sorry, I made some spicy rice, spicy chicken, and it's having this revenge. Oh, we're having a switch now. Switch is like a if statement. A switch is like an if statement that takes sort of one condition, and then if there's a sequential number of options that it can go through, then it goes through each one, and then when it hits the one that it's happy with, it 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 breaks. So it's supposed to if this then that, or else if this then that. It just says here's a condition. Case 1, case 2, case 3, oh, case 4 meets it, break there. I'll keep going. So when a user makes a selection from here, the function should get the user's value and display the date in their chosen date format. To do this, you can use the switch statement. The switch is used to compare an expression against possible matches and execute different code blocks based on the match. Okay, so yeah. Cases and what you want to do in each case. Cool. So I might call it there actually, because it's late and I need to get some shut eye. So I'm gonna call it there. But yeah, thank you, Drea, for jumping on, man. Thank you so much, and thank you whoever you are, whenever you watch this. Yo, keep persevering, man. You'll get there. Keep turning up. Keep turning up. You'll get there.